Sports Tonight highlights, stats, and post-game reaction from all the Summit League hoops happenings over the weekend. If you missed anything, we have got you covered. Then we'll switch gears to the high school ranks. Jody and Jandy recap all of the big games from high school sports in the Dakotas. And finally, Alex Heiner gets us up to speed on UND hockey's series with NCHC rival Denver over the weekend. All of that plus much more. Midco Sports Tonight kicks off right now. Good evening. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm Kelly Stewart, and this is Midco Sports Tonight. Well, believe it or not, the first half of Summit League play on the hardwood is already complete. Over the weekend, teams finished their first round in the conference, and some even played their first game of the second half. So we had some interesting shakeups over the weekend. So we're going to get started with the highlights beginning on Thursday. The battle of the undefeateds, USD at SDSU, and first quarter, Kate Liveringhouse. She was huge for the Yotes, 18 first half points. There's 3 of them right in there. A few minutes later, Allison Arns from way downtown knocks down the 3, but second half, here comes the home team. Tagging Larson with a nice left-handed lay-in. And now let's move on to the fourth quarter. We know she can shoot it from outside. Check out Maddie Giebert taking it to the rack. That's good for 2. SDSU within 4. But the Jacks would get as close as 2, but USD always had the answer. That's JC Bradley. That's a beautiful feed from Arns. And USD takes a win away from the Jackson Frost, 67-61. Macy Miller and Maddie Giebert led the way for SDSU on offense with 18 and 17 points respectively. But for the Yotes, it was senior Kate Liveringhouse, a huge day for her last regular season game in Frost. 20 points, 18 of those coming in the first half. Kira Duffy also added 17 for USD.
What other positives besides bragging rights can you take away from the game?
Well, I thought our kids played through some adversity. We had a stretch in the third and even the fourth quarter that we weren't making shots. They were getting to the rim against us. We weren't getting to the rim. And so we figured out how to make some of those adjustments and got some stops when it counted.
Not a ton of time to celebrate that win, however, as USD had to hop on a plane to Denver the next day. The Coyote women took on the Pioneers Saturday afternoon, notching a dominant 82-60 win. JC Bradley, Allison Arns, and Kira Duffy all scored in double figures for USD, who now sits at 17-5 with a spotless 8-0 record in league play. The SDSU women with also a quick turnaround, taking on Fort Wayne on Saturday, and let's just say this was all Jackrabbits. First quarter, Macy Miller, the good hands, gets the steal. Coast to coast, she makes a tough shot right there. End of the first now, Sydney Palmer drops the dime to Taggin Larson. She lays it in for 2, SDSU up 17. Moving to the third, Lexi Alexander finds Ellie Thompson in the corner. She knocks down the 3. And then finally into the fourth, freshman Tylee Irwin knocks down the corner triple to get SDSU past the century mark, and the Jacks cruise to a 56-point win, 105-49. 4 players in double figures for SDSU, led by Ellie Thompson with 23 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, and a block and a steal. She only missed 1 shot on the day.
Coach, first of all, congratulations. 105 points, and 44 of those were from inside the paint, and you said that you wanted them to be aggressive inside. Are you happy with their efforts today?
Yeah, really happy. Again, happy that we bounced back. Those are tough ones, but team showed, I think, just a lot of fight today. We got much more transition, a lot more flow in our offense, so great game for us.
Let's move to men's hoops. USD was at Denver, and the Pios brought it in this one. Daniel Amigo gets the block on Matt Mooney early on, and then a little bit later, Joe Rozga puts a little floater over Tyler Hagedorn. Rozga had a game-high 23 on the day. And then coming up, still first half, Mooney gets it poked away by Jake Pemberton. Amigo comes away with it. The Pios are in transition. They find Rozga in the corner, shot fake to the side step. He drills the 3. DU up 42-28 at half. Second half, Amigo gets a nice feed on the baseline. He throws it down, 2 of his 6 points on the day, along with 6 boards. Denver pulls off the upset over USD, 84-68, the final in this one. Denver led by Rozga and Pemberton with 23 and 22 respectively. Tyler Hagedorn with a solid day for USD in the loss. He had 16 and 7. Back to South Dakota for our next highlights. Fort Wayne men at SDSU. And early in the first half, John Conchar flies in for the dunk. Maybe a layup. He misses, but Xavier Taylor there to pick up the garbage. Still first half. Clear out play, Mike Dom, one-on-one. He's going to win that battle every time. And then fast forward late second half, Conchar posting up Reed Tellinghuse, and he gets it to go. Tie ball game. A little over a minute left. Tevin King to Skylar Flatten, who knocks down the 3. Jacks up by 2. 20 seconds to go. Tie game, Mike Dom at the line. pressure free throws. His mom and dad standing up for that. But in the final Fort Wayne possession, Conchar, decent look from three, but it is no good. SDSU fights off the comeback win with a 78-76 win. Dom tallied yet another double-double with 23 and 14 to lead SDSU, but 4 other players scored in double figures as well, including another double-double by Tevin King, 11 points, 10 boards. SDSU improves to 18-6, 6-1 in league play.
They sent Mike Dom up there with 20 seconds left. The fans knew. They were on their feet. Did the team know as well?
I mean, Mike's been clutch in that situation throughout his career. He's a tremendous free throw shooter. We know we can count on him late. We're happy to come out with the win. It's certainly, they did a great job in the second half. They made some great adjustments. We didn't respond the way we did, but we got stopped, so we need to win the game.
The Bison back on their home floor hosting Western Illinois, and the Leathernecks would come out firing behind the hot shooting of freshman Kobe Webster. He scored 18 first half points on 7 of 11 shooting to help build an early 12-point lead, but the Bison would rally with an 18-4 run. Freshman Rocky Cruiser spots up, buries the three. NDSU getting 27 points off the bench. But Paul Miller continued his hot shooting in Summit League play, spinning back inside for 2 off the glass. That gets the Bison within 1. Miller is also 4th in the Summit League in assists. Nice dish coming up right here, finding Dylan Miller cutting to the basket off the screen and roll for the jam. And then tied at 40 just before half, the senior from Waukesha, Wisconsin drives, hangs, and flips in the reverse lay-in. NDSU led at 42-40 after the first 20 minutes. Now in the second half, Spencer Eliason able to muscle in a couple of buckets inside, including this tough jumper in the lane over Brandon Gilbeck, the leading shot blocker in the league. Dengu would come off the bench to score 9 points in the second half to give the Bison some breathing room, including this three-pointer, his 3rd of the season. And then freshman Cameron Hunter chipped in with 13 points as well, including the deep 3 as the shot clock winds down, plus the foul for a 4-point play and stretch the lead to double digits. The Leathernecks would chip it to 7, but the Bison were able to pull away in the final 5 minutes for good. AJ Jacobson hits the triple from the wing, and NDSU wins that one 80-69, their second straight victory. Freshman Kobe Webster led the way for the Leathernecks. He had 24. Dalen Ankrum also pitched in 15. As for the Bison, Paul Miller yet again leading the team, 26 points for him. Cameron Hunter and Tyson Ward also in double figures with 13 and 10 points respectively. Over to the Big Sky now. Play from the weekend with the Fighting Hawks men in Moscow to take on preseason favorite Idaho. UND was dominant in the early going and would build a 16-point lead midway through the first on the strength of 16 first half points from Dale Jones, but the Vandals would fight back in a big way, going on a 29-8 run before halftime to take the lead. They would not look back from there, ultimately handing North Dakota their 3rd straight defeat by a 96-71 final. Jones would finish with a career-high 24 points in the defeat, but he was the only UND player to score more than 10 on the night. UND will return home to the Betty for the first time since January 13th, this Thursday, against Montana State. The UND women wouldn't fare much better against the Vandals on Saturday afternoon. Just like the Fighting Hawk men, Travis Brewster's squad would lead early on, only to see their opposition gain separation before halftime. Idaho would use a strong second quarter to build a 13-point lead at the break, and even though UND would get 16 points from Fallon Freege and a double-double from Lexi Clabo, the home team couldn't stop Geraldine McCorkle, who dropped 34 to lead her team to the 78-64 victory. Along with McCorkle's heroics, all Big Sky forward Michaela Ferenz will put up a triple-double in the win, while her team would shoot 41% from behind the arc. UND would get 4 players in double figures, including a career-high 11 from freshman Melissa Leet, but it wouldn't be enough to earn the W. When we come back, Tom Neiman, Jay Elson, and Brian Shaw join me for Water Cooler Talk to talk all things Summit League hoops. You're watching Midco Sports Tonight.
Midco Sports Tonight, presented by Avera Orthopedics.